I'd like to call the Tuesday, October 4th Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. It is approximately 9:02 a.m. Pledge of Allegiance. Mike Pavey, lead us, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment. I do not have a public comment card. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak? Anybody from the public that would like to speak? Mr. Chalik, did you raise your hand? I'm sorry. I thought you did. Let's get right to the great news, and you see what's happening in law enforcement these days, and we've got a fantastic team that moved forward, and we've got a new officer. Chief Breton, lead the way.
This is Tempest Miller. We're excited to hire her from Westville Police Department, where you've been an officer. I'll let you say a little bit about yourself once we swear you in, because Mayor likes that. Need you to raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the laws and Constitution of the state of Indiana. And I will, to the best of my ability, faithfully execute the position of police officer for the city of LaPorte, Indiana, so help me God. Congratulations.
Yes, Tempest, share with the public a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a police officer with Westville for 3 years. Before that, I just did secretary and serving jobs. I have 3 kids, and that's pretty much it for me. I spend all my time with them, and I'm working all the time. So that's about it.
Tempest, welcome to the city report. Let's take a photo. Do you have family, anybody you want to take a photo with? All right, I want to just thank all the officers and the support that are here to support you. I hope you see that. You've got a lot of support that you'll be successful with, so welcome.
Thank you.
Chief, whoever else you'd like. Officers, come on in.
Wally?
Thank you. Thank you.
I see a few other officers. Jen? Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't believe you.
You have a white lines there.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, you guys are sorry.
You lied.
Thank you.
And Chief, do you mind sharing?
You've been shy.
You have someone that doesn't need to go to training academy.
Oh, right.
So what is the time frame?
Well, we figured that we're gonna put Tempest tomorrow night. She starts on midnight shift through field training, which we expect it to be very quick. Everything she does has been through Superior 3, which we worked through in the circuit court, so I think that she'll be pretty much on her own in hopefully a month.
That's great.
That's
Wow.
great for us having the experience. So.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And I'd like to also remind the public, or more importantly, our officers, don't feel the necessary or the need to stay for the rest of the meeting. Everybody is welcome to leave if they choose to do so.
That's riveting information.
Their claims.
Their laws. They don't want to hear about the 50/50 sidewalk program.
Clerk Treasurer, claims approval.
Okay, we have civil city payroll from September 30th in the amount of $468,334.55.
I move we approve the civil city payroll.
Second.
I have a motion and a second discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Civil City Board of Works claims in the amount of $681,834.35.
I move we approve the civil city board of works claims.
Second.
A motion and a second discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
We have sewage claims in the amount of $92,180.34.
I move we approve the sewage claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes.
And we have water claims in the amount of $142,397.35.
I move we approve the water claims.
Second.
Discussion.
I don't think so.
Hearing none. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Treasurer Parthune. Department Head Report. Dan Drake, Code Enforcement. How are you, Dan? Welcome to the big show.
Mayor and Board, reporting for Code Enforcement and Street Department. We're at 2950 on our violations right now. We are taking down trees right now, and coming into the end of the cutting season, probably another couple of weeks on that. 1801 Monroe is down. Mike Pavey is here. He'll have more details. Long time coming on that address.
It's not down yet, though, I don't
But
believe.
it's down.
It is down.
Yeah,
It's down. It's a pile of wood right now, so
Wow.
that is great. Other than that, that's pretty much what we have right now.
That's great news.
Yeah, it is very good.
It's 19.
2 for 1, it sounds like, on Mike Pavey
Go
today.
there and just keep moving.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Andrea Smith, HR.
Good morning, Andrew Smith, Human Resources. Just the same things I'm going to keep reiterating. November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is open enrollment. It is a must attend because everybody will be signing new dental, vision, and life insurance forms. So again, must attend. Call Corrine or I to schedule an appointment. November 15th, 16th, and 17th is our wellness event over at Porte. Again, that also needs to be scheduled through us. It's 5 appointments every 15 minutes. Again, November 15th, 16th, and 17th. And the follow-ups will be in January. And then flu shots start today and go through March 2023. Walk in, no appointment necessary. You can walk in either Michigan City or LaPorte. And that's all I have today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Craig Phillips, Planning.
Morning. First off, I want to say that I'm happy that Tempest Miller is coming on as an officer because she's my former secretary, actually, in Michigan City. So it's nice to see her leave us to go to the academy and then to Westville and on to LaPorte. So it's a good addition. And besides that, work continues on the parking study. We have a meeting this week to kind of go over the draft that we've received and get comments back to our consultant. We've kicked off the effort for the development of our Trails, Greenways, and Blueways Master Plan. Had our first committee meeting on that, so we'll be working on developing that plan over the next couple of months. And work continues on public offerings. We have a couple out that we are going to process, eventually receiving proposals back for the property on 18th Street at your first November meeting, and then going from there, and then some additional work on the other that we have out on the Don George Ford property as well. And work continues on the Monroe Streetscape project. So a lot of different things going on in the department.
Thank you.
Yep.
Tim Warner, Water Department.
Good morning to the board. The Water Department is finishing up their main project on Darlington around Fast Pack. Ran into some issues once we ran the water main. We did some hydraulic testing on it and decided to take that up to Lincoln Way to tie that in. We've always talked about the loop systems to loop that area in for fire flow and water quality. So there will be a little traffic detour right there. You will not be able to pull into Darlington off of Lincoln Way, but we will make sure all the businesses are still accessible through the rear of the property. Come down Darlington, and then you can still get into the businesses for the plaza. 1401, I think, is the address there for hair fitness and Blake Insurance and stuff like that. I've spoke personally with the businesses yesterday and Friday, and they're all aware of what we're doing there. We're finishing up the well line relocation project on 150. We're down to biological testing right now, just waiting for some tests to come back good. That way we can put the Kankakee well field back into service. And it's that time of year again. We'll be starting fall flushing October 23rd. That's a Sunday. It'll run for 3 to 4 weeks from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. If any resident or anything gets caught doing laundry and have some of that rusty water enter into their washing machine, they can call the water department, and we will provide rust out to them.
And what is that date?
October 23rd, and it'll go for 3 to 4 weeks. We need to grab some fire flows for the fire department, so we might have an extra week in there just capturing that information that we share with the fire department.
And I do appreciate Tim going out to the businesses. While it's not enjoyable, people will have access to get into those retail establishments.
And our concern was there's a lot of elderly people that visit that with the chiropractor and the New Balance store and the insurance company in there. They have to drive a little further, but we're still keeping the front of the business open, so there's no extra walking for any of them. So we're accommodating that for them.
Thank you. Lori Larson, wastewater.
I have nothing new to report.
I would like to remind everybody they were able, Lori Larson and Tucker King brought in the trophy that the city of LaPorte won in front of you, the very large trophy. As expected, we did win, and we've reminded Michigan City that we will not participate in any further competitions unless we receive a better effort out of Michigan City. So hopefully they will bring a better effort to the next whatever it may be.
It was a good win.
Nick Minnick, engineering.
Just a couple of things. We have a couple more streets we're still trying to wrap up. We were able to add Tipton Street south of Lincoln Way. It's a street we've really wanted to get paved for a while, but because of the loops, the traffic loops, we weren't able to do that, and that's now letting us do that. So Tipton Street, and then there's one small block of I Street. So we are trying to add just a few more streets onto our annual paving program, and then we'll also work on getting the rest of Burson moving too. And then
I'm sorry, Nick, did you say those will be done this week?
they're supposed to start on Thursday. I haven't gotten an update since last week, so things sometimes change day to day at the end of the construction season like this.
And you're still moving forward with the corridor. When will the next public meeting be?
I'm not sure if they have a public meeting scheduled, because right now there is a public hearing as part of the process. So if there would be another public meeting, it'd be on the county to choose when and how.
Who's the lead on the project?
Correct, yeah, and that's what happened last time. So the last meeting that happened, and there's been several, the last public meeting that happened was because the county wanted to have extra kind of information out there for the public. It wasn't part of the typical NDOT process that you go through on a project like this, but it was kind of above and beyond. And that's kind of thinking back, the city chipped in some of the match funds to make sure that we had a website for the project, and communication has been really key to the city, and we want to make sure people have the right information. Another public meeting, can happen for information, but the reality is that the public hearing would happen further down the road when there's an alternative selected in the screening documents a little further along.
Well, and we understand things move slow, but for an EMS building in Rolling Prairie, it's taken 40 years. We're not going to move that slow at the county's level. There's some discussion you hear from elected officials or those candidates that overweight trucks or pulling trucks over that are on Lincoln Way will help keep trucks off Lincoln Way. Besides that being nonsense, the truth, if we really want to address this, is a 2-lane road.
Yeah, we're not looking at some sort of super highway taking over half the county. We're looking at a very reasonable route that'll allow trucks to access the east side of town more efficiently and not have to go through downtown. Not just trucks, but residents and those who live and work on that side of town, not having to go through downtown every time is going to be really important. We have no control over weight limits, and the state is really probably not going to be interested in putting weight limits on state highways or U.S. highways. It's just not something that's possible. Hopefully this corridor opens up the opportunity to give the city a little more control over that in the future, but we can't do that without the corridor.
And the 2-lane road, it's similar to Franklin, and the dollars that are going to come to this potentially will go to other communities for future infrastructure if they don't come to LaPorte, correct?
Yeah, the programs that we're looking at to fund this out of are all competitive federal grant programs, so that money is going somewhere, whether it comes to LaPorte or it goes to Nevada or Ohio or Maryland, it's going to go somewhere. So, we have a project that locally we work through NERPC. The last time we submitted this project to NERPC, it was one of the highest scoring projects in the whole region. So we know we have a project that scores well as a transportation project. That's a good sign for being able to get federal money and competing with other projects across the country. So I think there's a very good chance with the dollars that have been put into different programs that we're going to see a good amount of money. We just have to get to the point where we can put in an application, find out how those are going to be scored, and make sure that we have the right project and the right funding program to get the federal funds.
And I've heard 180 million, you've already lowered that to 100. And if this 2-lane road that you're proposing, would you say if they're opposed to that, they're opposed to any new road in the county?
One of the biggest changes that we've proposed as a city is part of the project being essentially an extension of an existing road. So to say that, we're unwilling as a community to extend existing roads in order to build our transportation network and make it efficient and make sure that everyone has good access to where they need to be going. That's very short-sighted. So I hope that we can kind of change the discussion and make sure that we're looking at our entire transportation network and make sure that we're making the improvements we need throughout the city and the county. We're looking inside the city too. It's not like the corridor is the silver bullet that's going to fix everything. It's got to be multiple projects so that we can make sure that we have the most efficient network possible.
And the last one I heard, it's amazing to me, just change the lights and allow trucks to get through the city, and that'll make it better.
Yeah.
And this is elected people running for office.
I really, it brings a lot of fear to think of a truck going 45 down Lincoln Way and then, people trying to cross the street too. I mean, it's just, it's not a safe situation to put heavy vehicles like that and then move them quickly. But we do want more efficient lights. That's not a problem. I think NDOT, they redid a lot of they upgraded all of the lights about 2 years ago now, and they can be programmed and worked the way they need to be, but I think they're on top of it. They do what they can.
Our residents deserve a voice as well, and we just heard last evening that a business is moving out of downtown because of the truck traffic. So,
Yeah, no, it's a challenge. We vet a lot of restaurants and talked to a lot of restaurants about their outdoor dining and different things like that, and it's always a challenge. They're afraid of Lincoln Way. I mean, it's a fear that downtown businesses have. It's the noise, it's the trucks, it's the somebody accidentally getting a little too close or you're on a corner and a semi needs to cut that corner. So there's definitely issues. It's a very important road for the state. As the state highway, it's a very important road for the county, but it's a very, very important road for the city. So
thank you. Nick Otis, legal.
Nothing.
Chief Breton, police.
We just continue looking for our technology upgrades for next year, looking at flock cameras, and we had a meeting last week with, for parking violations, the cameras on the cars, so we can get into the century with that too, instead of somebody out there with chalk. And currently interviewing, doing a background check on another officer that is currently in the police academy. And real excited wants to come here, so that's great to see. Also have 2 other real good applications. We're gonna run them to Agility before the weather gets bad here.
Assistant Chief Burke,
Morning.
disabled. Still here.
We're having an open house this Saturday, and we've been real busy this whole month. We will be with Fire Prevention Week and teaching the kids and stuff like that. Boat is out of the water, and the dock for the season, it's still available if needed. It's just out of the water. Is this when I talk about this?
No,
Okay.
it's up later.
I don't know what I'm doing here, so.
Perfect. Bert Cook, LEAP.
I have no report this morning, Mayor.
Jess Bruder, communications.
I don't have much. I just wanted to say, as a reminder, as we head into the holiday season, we've got more and more local events happening in and around LaPorte. So if you're looking for things to do for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, make sure you check out liveinthelakeLife.org. That's all I got.
Thank you.
There's trick or treat downtown this Saturday, isn't there?
I believe there is an event on the 8th.
Yeah.
Yes, through the Small Business Coalition, and that's all.
Okay.
Heather, transport.
Good morning, Heather Daly with LaPorte Transport. Just a few things. Our total ridership for the third quarter was 10,220 riders. That's the best quarter we've had in 3 years, so we're very excited about that. This week started our new hours. We've already seen extended rides. It only started Monday yesterday, but we already have scheduled rides going with the extra hour, so we're seeing good luck with that. Our holiday passes sales start October the 17th and are going to run through November the 5th. These are the $20 passes. We saw amazing results with those earlier this year, and we hope to have very good results with sales for the 3 weeks that we'll be selling those.
Thank you. Those the Craig Phillips.
I'm sorry, just one more thing I forgot to mention. I talked about the Trails, Greenways, and Blueways Master Plan, but want to request that all those in LaPorte take the opportunity to take the community survey that we have out to gain input from the community regarding the use of trails, green spaces in the community, as well as the lakes and other blueways, as we call them. That survey is available on the city website in the Community Development Planning webpage, as well as it's been posted on the Facebook page, and I believe the Parks Facebook page has already posted it as well. So would encourage everybody to take the opportunity to have your input heard as part of the process for the development of the plan. I forgot to mention that. So.
And may I commend David Heinhold on his work. I mean, he lives the life. As I saw him biking in 52-degree weather yesterday morning to get to work, but he's done a great job.
Yep. So Yep, just encourage everybody to take the opportunity to fill out that survey.
Is that a separate survey from the Park Department survey that was out?
It is,
it-
yes.
Okay, just,
Yep,
But you agree David's done a great job?
he's done a great job with it, yes.
Perfect. Any other comments? Thank you.
Thanks, sorry about that.
All right, any department heads that do not have business before the board, go have a great day. Memorandum of Understanding, since we've got a newbie here, we'll let Chief Breton lead the way first.
I didn't bring my copy, but it's what you've seen every year.
Yes.
It's with the addiction, where we have police officers, firefighters that respond and get people on the road to recovery, the help they need. There is a payment for show up on that.
Payment to the officers.
Yeah, to the officer.
Yep.
And it's basically, every year it comes before us for renewal, and there's no different than last year.
So I'm going to put both of you a little bit on the spot, and this is so important as we move forward, as we look for social workers to start addressing some of these issues. Police they're not set up to deal with this situation. We've not hired them to deal with this situation. Is Wellport making an impact? Or HealthLink, I mean, are we saying, how often is this being used, do you know, roughly?
That was on my to-do list this morning. I was going to check into that. We do get referrals quite often, but because they'll contact the officer directly, I don't have that number, but we do have several officers that respond. I believe the fire department, probably just by nature of things, probably gets more than we do, just because of that. Even though it's a no-arrest situation, I think there is that stigma there.
I mean, this is an important part moving forward. It's a different police work, different fire work when it comes to this situation, and it's not only in LaPorte, and we need to monitor this closely and really make sure we're making an impact, and also look at in-house facilities potentially to address some of the issues that we face, that you all face on a daily basis. Can we approve these together?
Yep.
Do I have a motion to approve the police and fire department memorandum of understanding with HealthLink?
So moved.
second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Ours was 6 last year, and 6, that's better than 0. I'm not sure what the fire department, but our referrals were 6.
Oh, your referrals were 6,
That
gotcha.
officer was called out.
So whether it's the officers or the fire department, are they, those that respond, it's voluntary, like they're interested in being a part of this? Okay.
Yes.
And you can see the rates, it's pretty,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's kind of if they're interested, it's kind of a nice way to make a little extra money and help out these folks.
Yeah, and we do more than PD because we also work with the county, so Michigan City Fire's not involved, or EMS, so we go to Michigan City or wherever our guys, so we are involved a little more.
Are
Throughout
you pulled
LaPorte
off shift
County.
at all or not? These are all off?
No, this is not on duty,
Duty.
this
Off
is,
duty,
you have to be
okay.
off duty for this.
Yeah, because you guys, anybody that chooses to participate receives a 1099. This is not,
Correct.
these
Right.
people are not paid through a W-2 through the city, right?
Ours are too, it's all off duty.
Right. I think it's great. I hope to see more referrals and more going on with this and collaboration so that we can get people involved in programs and get them the help they need.
The problem is, and we saw firsthand on Grove Street last year, we can't mandate that people stay. And one person went on Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, they were back sleeping in their own bed. And the police cannot mandate people, fire cannot mandate people stay in a facility if they choose not to. So I do have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Mary Ann Richards, Grant Agreement, CDBG.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a grant agreement with State Street Community Church for their food pantry at PAC Center. This is using CDBG COVID funds, and the amount is $15,000. The period, it begins October 1st and runs through September 30th of next year. And it's for their food pantry. There is still an impact on individuals, residents in LaPorte who are coming down with COVID. And if they have to quarantine for 5 days, many of them do not have paid sick leave. So it creates a financial hardship. So the food pantry is still a necessary avenue to help get folks over the hump.
One question, so how much COVID money do we have left?
I'm going to say 160, 170,000.
Is there, I mean, I'm going to ask the board before we get into this, why only 15,000?
That's all they requested.
Okay, is there a way, I mean, because this is an issue, Salvation Army, with the stuff, the bus, their pantry was almost bare. And I just am
The
curious,
Salvation Army will be taken care of through another grant. This is with State Street.
right, but
Another grant within within CDBG?
Using these
or
funds.
outside of
Using these funds.
the COVID funds?
The COVID funds, right. We're working through a conflict of interest with HUD right now.
Is there a time frame on when we have to use the remaining?
I have to have all of the COVID money off the books and drawn down through IDIS, which is the HUD financial system, by the end of 2023.
So December 31st of '23?
Correct.
but and again, Mary Ann gets all the
Right.
fun of these questions, but I don't know why we wouldn't use the funds now or be proactive to reaching out to them saying, how can we help now?
In the annual action plan for next year, I've got money, this grant, the grant for Salvation Army, and also the possibility of a daycare subsidy, because daycare is expensive. And even if you have someone who is working and is paying for daycare, if they have to stay home for 5 days or 10 days, or even if their child comes down with COVID and they have to quarantine with that person, they still have to pay for daycare to keep their slot. So if we can use,
Have we done any daycare subsidies? I didn't think we
no,
had.
this is something new. This
Okay.
is from talking to some of the community partners, the organizations, businesses involved with the CDBG program. It was something that came up.
So what is the range, is there the range, I didn't see the range of use that the dollars could be used for these
They
programs.
could be, I mean, there's a number of things they could be used with. Food assistance, rental assistance, utility assistance.
But it has to be due to COVID.
Yes. There are 3 conditions: prepare for, respond to, or prevent COVID.
Could they be, and this might be something else, but we've been working because there's a lack of childcare as well in our community.
Right.
Could those dollars be used to fund, and it would help COVID, but to fund a daycare, the development of a daycare center? Because that's a large amount of money.
I would have to get clarification on that.
Okay.
It is able to provide the financial assistance for staffing,
Yes.
it says, which is important because a lot of grants
Yes.
don't always provide for the wages for those workers. So I think that's kind of a big deal. And it says for food pantry and community meals on this, but maybe that would also be for the daycare, the staffing costs for daycare.
Usually the staffing costs are incorporated in the weekly daycare costs, that a family has to pay.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a direct subsidy to the daycare center for
Their wages.
$4. It would have to be incorporated in the cost of the subsidy for daycare.
I want to make sure you have, because this is something to work with Mary Ann on, that we could, at 160,000 available, it could really make an impact. And to work with Mary Ann and,
If we changed anything, I would have to do a substantial amendment with HUD, and then, of course, change the budget for next year with the city. So there's going to be a lot of administrative work involved.
but it might bring value to some people that could,
Are you talking about establishing a new daycare facility? Is that what you're referring to?
funding has been an issue, and there are some organizations and some large businesses in our community that are looking to fund a childcare to help those individuals, that if you spread the children and the childcare out, helps with COVID, because you don't have them all
Oh, in one location?
in one location.
Gotcha. Yeah, daycare is a very tricky, difficult issue because of ratios, what kind of regulations you get with the state, and even, yeah, that's a whole ball of, I don't disagree, I completely agree with you, but
You know,
that's a big issue.
Right, and I would, my preference would be to use a licensed daycare, because there's more regulations and greater monitoring than an unlicensed.
It would be
daycare.
regulated and a license, and even if the Y, who's been a partner,
Right.
wanted to expand, or
Oh, absolutely.
with some funding
Yeah.
here.
If they were able to get more funding and create other locations, but also to use it for staffing, because staffing at these locations is the biggest
Yes,
issue. Or at least I know it is with the Y, the turnover and getting quality employees, and the amount that not-for-profits, which are most daycares, are able to provide is, slim. Yeah.
And then, do you know, we have separate food pantries. Has there ever been a discussion about consolidating to have
Not to my knowledge,
one
no.
food pantry? I don't know if that,
I'm not aware of that either. Not that I know of.
Not that
I know a lot of churches do their own thing, and then there's the PAC Center
Yeah,
now has a
because
big.
there's the food pantry at St. Joe Church, the food pantry at Salvation Army, the food pantry at Center Township Trustee, and the food pantry at State Street, or the PAC Center. To my knowledge, those are the four. There may be more that I don't know about.
I think it's important to have them at different locations so that it's easily and widely acceptable, but it wouldn't be nice to see one location in food, because I know they do this in Michigan City. Jim Musial is part of it, where he collects and gets a large donations from various vendors, and then is able to get all the different organizations to come and pick up from one centralized location, to make, again, use of all the resources. So
If
that
there's an
would be good to do
advantage.
too. Yeah, as long as it's accessible in various locations.
I mean, unfortunately, and I'm probably shouldn't say this, but historically, there seems to be turf battles amongst different organizations.
That's unfortunate, because there's so much need in LaPorte that we really need to pool resources and come to the table and do the greatest good with what we have.
Right.
so do I have a motion to approve the 15,000 for
State Street.
or State Street Church?
So moved.
I'm going to abstain because I'm a member of the church.
I will second that. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
Motion passes 2-0 with member Romine abstaining, and with an opportunity to talk more with Mary Ann, and that might be,
I think that would be a great thing to make happen. Especially coming into the winter months
Yes.
and the holidays, Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of groups put together Thanksgiving meals for people that are in need, so I would really like to see that.
There's a lot of coordination between Center Township Trustees, Salvation Army, and State Street with like the Thanksgiving and the Christmas food baskets, trying to minimize the number of food baskets. that are given to, just having
Duplicated?
a central database, right, to eliminate duplication so that more people can be
Benefit.
serviced, right.
I just like little kid stuff.
Yeah, we should try to make that happen in a separate meeting with, and then go from there to see who can be invited and try to get people on board so that there aren't turf wars.
Perfect. All in favor, state by saying aye.
We already did.
Oh, yeah.
Just redoing it, I love it so much.
Oh, you do, okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mary Ann. Nick Minnick, open bids for 2022 ADA and 50/50 sidewalk improvement program.
We have bids for the 2022 ADA and 50/50 sidewalk program. Any bids?
We do. Do you want this?
Yes. Proof of publication was published on September 20th and September 27th in the Herald Dispatch.
We'll put it right back in here.
And this will include the projects that may have been here for 2 years or last year.
From last year, yep.
Perfect.
We have three bids.
Oh, great.
Yes.
I'll read the bids and then we'll do the full review later. The first bid from Selge Construction, Division 1 ADA sidewalk improvements in the amount of $189,293.40. Division 2 in the amount of $221,722.53 for a total project, both divisions, $411,015.93.
What's Division 1 versus Division 2?
Division 1 versus Division 2.
Division 1 is our ADA program, and Division 2 is our 50/50 program.
We'll choose one person to, we'll only choose one company to do both,
The general,
correct?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Second bid is from Reith Riley Construction. Division 1 ADA sidewalk improvements is in the amount of $146,097.10.
Excuse me.
146,097.10.
Besides that.
It's Craig Phillips.
Division 2 is in the amount of $163,909.90. That's 163,909.90 for a total project of $310,007.
I like that one.
Yes.
The final bid is from Pavey Excavating. Pavey Excavating, the ADA sidewalk improvement bid is in the amount of, Division 1 is in the amount of $116,478.93. It's 116,478.93. Division 2 50/50 sidewalks is in the amount of $147,081.34. It's 147,081.34. Total project in the amount of $263,560.27. And we will take these back to engineering and review and then make recommendation at your next meeting.
And who was low bidder?
Pavey.
Apparent low bidder, yep.
So do we need a motion right now?
He said they'd make a recommendation.
Okay. But I want to make sure we move quick on this to get it, is the goal to get done before winter hits.
So you're okay waiting till 2 weeks from now?
I mean, you can authorize review and approval.
Pending, like, engineering.
Pending review for the apparent low bidder of Pavey Excavating, that's fine.
You wouldn't have to bring it back then to the.
Then I wouldn't
city.
have to bring it back.
It's not gonna be till November because October 18th is,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Okay.
Do I have a motion
I'll make a motion to approve the paving contractor based on review by engineering and legal.
Yeah.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, and we're also not just looking at lowest bid, but quality of bidder, timeframes.
That's the one thing that takes review time is our responsible bidder ordinance, making sure that they meet all those requirements. But all three contractors have, built sidewalks in the city without.
It's nice to have good options.
Yes, we have good options.
It's nice to have an option, yeah, absolutely.
So I do have a motion and a second. All in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion passes 3-0. Request payment, NDOT?
We received our local match invoice for DES number 1700760, which is known by the mayor as Boyd Boulevard. There are other streets on that project, but this is the Boyd Boulevard federal aid match in the amount of $148,963.60. We generally take this from a combination of either MVH or major moves depending on availability at this point in the year. So we'll work with clerk treasurer's office to verify the funds are in the proper account.
So it might come from a combination of those two departments?
Usually does.
Buckets, okay.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 3-0. Pay request for 2022 street paving.
And if it'd be okay, I'd like to take this off for right now. I need to review a little bit more. I caught something late yesterday and want to check it out. But I did have something that didn't make it on
But
the
that won't
agenda.
delay any work.
No.
That work's
And
all been done.
Normally what I'll do is I'll present the pay application in the meeting, and we can also submit it as a claim so that it still gets paid on time, and then I can present it additionally. So we can make sure that they get paid in a reasonable amount of time, but I just wanted to double check one thing before.
He's checking on, I think that's a pay request, is that
The pay
correct?
request number 4.
Yeah, pay request number.
But everything has been completed on the work.
We still have a little more work to be completed, but yes.
And it won't get it won't delay the work.
No.
Perfect.
And I mentioned this in department reports. We did receive quotes for our emergency vehicle preemption. If you remember, we opened, we didn't have any quotes last time, so we have kind of been going through the process. And it didn't make it on the agenda, so I don't know if maybe under other business or I can put it in.
Go ahead and
here.
move forward. We'll let the board decide.
Okay. So we did receive 2 quotes for emergency vehicle preemption.
Are board members okay moving forward with this? With the bid?
Yeah.
3? Oh, we received 3 quotes.
We got 0 last time, there's 3 this time.
Fantastic. Is this for by the fire station?
This
Where-
is, yes.
This is for-
Yeah, so this
okay.
is on the east side, and 3 intersections on the east side to assist with the fire station.
By the way, can we update Good Point
Yeah, Teresa
NDOT
Ludlow.
with Teresa Ludlow? Thank you.
The first quote from Midwest Electric is in the amount of $49,880.
So which 3, it'll be right there on,
It'll be Boston, and then the intersection that's several lights, 3 streets coming in. Scott, North, Hines, there's
okay, got it.
2 signals at that one intersection.
Okay, that's what I was trying to picture, okay.
The next quote is from Hawk Enterprises. Quote is in the amount of $47,800. The third quote is from Michiana Contracting in the amount of $59,628. I want to thank United Consulting. They did a really great job of, last time didn't have any interest, and they kind of made sure they found contractors to quote this, and really appreciate the extra effort on that part. And I would recommend we refer those for review, and then we'll make recommendation at the next meeting, even if it pushes it back a little bit. It's okay.
So no
So,
hurry,
yeah, no.
waiting till November.
Also, quiet zone, we've talked about it by end of year.
Yeah, we have a diagnostic review scheduled, but we're looking at bringing that in with our the other agencies, so the Federal Rail Administration, NDOT, the railroad, having one meeting at the same time to speed it along a little bit. But the goal is to have the train, that meeting is kind of the end of our process, and then it's just time to get to it being implemented. So the goal is by the end of the year to have the train horn stop.
Nice.
Is it the railroad or NDOT that's really the driver? Once it's past
federal,
that point.
it's Federal Rail Administration. So it goes, it goes to the feds. It's not.
Okay.
But the process shouldn't, the end of year should be good.
Yes. Yeah.
And the street department has to do some upgrades, correct?
And they are this week, yeah.
make
So
that
we had a
happen.
couple minor upgrades that needed to be done in order to meet the safety criteria and get to the point where we could have a quiet zone. So we added some center curb barriers is what we're adding to 2 streets. And then we'll also be restriping and making sure signage is updated on all the crossings. And then after that diagnostic meeting and after the review meeting, there's a notice period, and then it goes into effect.
And what are the 2 streets they're updating?
Pulaski and Boston Street required the center curbs.
Perfect.
Yeah. And these center curbs are similar to, I think the best example that people might recognize is on Pine Lake Ave, where just south of Truesdale and Weller Ave, NDOT has kind of the curb installed on the road with the reflectors. That's the type of equipment that we're adding. So.
And you won't be able to cross at all.
The goal of this is to make sure that people aren't going around the stop arms is the goal. So.
And they won't be able to, correct?
Correct.
Without damaging,
Yeah.
which is
Without
good news.
driving over a curb and bollards, which is
Okay.
not usually easy on a car.
Perfect. Okay, any new business, unfinished business? Comments from the board?
Do you have to talk about the board meeting cancellation for?
So the next board meeting, 10/18, October 18th, the next board meeting will be canceled. We will meet on October 20th to approve claims at 10 a.m. So the next meeting to approve claims will be at October 20th at 10 a.m., and there will not be a meeting on October 18th, so please make a note of that. Other comments from the board?
Fill out the surveys
Fill out
about
the
the trails and
surveys.
greenways.
And then also, double duty for school corporation, there's a survey about the future, correct, of the schools?
Oh, yeah, we're involved in a strategic planning process, so there are a couple different surveys, lots of surveys going on. So I know they take some time, but the feedback is invaluable.
Where can they go on the website?
I believe it's been emailed out, but I think you can go on the web, I'm not positive, but I think you can go on the website and
It's been
access.
emailed out to all parents of public school students, but yeah, and I'm
I
not
think it went
sure
out on
if it's-
Facebook as well, but,
It doesn't take that long. I think it took me less than 10 minutes.
yeah, and there may be an issue with going to the website because of, with some surveys, like you try to limit the ability for folks to fill out 10 surveys, right?
Oh.
So I'm not sure about the website, but yeah, either the email or, and I believe it went out on Facebook as well.
Perfect. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned. Everybody have a fantastic day.